Bonjour relatives, Shangwaiwe Kamigo Queen Indigenous Cause. I'm Jamie Kellicut with HIR Wellness Institute, and we are live from HIR Wellness Institute today. We are in Lake Huron, one of our therapy rooms, and today is Friday, Wellness Friday. So good to see all of you. Thank you for being here for recovery and reflection. You're here with myself, and Xavier is moderating for us. Miigwech, Xavier, for being here every Friday, helping us out in the comments. So what I love about this room is we have, I don't know if you guys can hear it, but we have some birds chirping in the background. I hope you can hear them. I really wanted to have that so that it was just like we were back in the woods when we used to meet for Wellness Friday, and then when in our Sunday sessions we'd be outside in the woods. That was one of the really wonderful healing things that happened, was those birds chirping and singing to us. So they're here with us. I hope you can hear that. And how we always like to start our Fridays, our Wellness Fridays, is by, I'll read the meditation, the Elder's Meditation for today. So I'm going to get my camera set up, and I am going to turn the screen around so you can have some more smudge while I'm reading, okay? It's nice because we have water here with us too, which is very healing. So we have our sacred medicines. We have our smudge going with our sage. I have some sweet grass here for us. I also have my tobacco ties and my tobacco pouch. So today is Friday, June 26th. And what we're reading out of is Meditations with Native American Elders, The Four Seasons, by Don Coyes. This book has been very instrumental for myself as I've been walking the Red Road for now over 5 years. It'll be 6 years in October. And I just love being able to share that with you guys. So today's meditation says, when faithful human beings or other creatures called upon them for help, they, the powers of the four directions, must send their powers. And that was a quote by Fool's Crow Lakota. Each of the four directions has special powers. These powers, or grandfathers, are there to help us. The powers are from the east, the south, the west, and the north. To call upon the power, we need to stand in the center and face each of the directions and honor all forms of life in each direction. Facing the east, we honor all the two-legged, four-legged, winged ones, plant nations, and the animals. We repeat this prayer in each of the four directions. This allows us to become centered. When we are centered, then we are ready to call the helpers. It is said, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. If we are to be ready, we need to remember to always get quiet first. We do this by honoring and praying to the four directions. Grandfathers from the four directions, come to me today with your powers. Give me your gifts so I can serve the people. I thought we could just think about that for a little bit. Hey, relatives. The four directions. For me, that's pretty powerful. My teachings have taught me that I start my prayers in the east. And I say that same prayer every day. I thank the Creator, and I pray for the two-legged, the four-legged, the winged ones, plant nations, two-spirited, and all the animals. And then I continue on with my prayers. And it does help bring me back to balance. I offer my tobacco in all four directions, and I say that same prayer. And then I continue on with what it is that I want to pray about for that day. Maybe for that moment even. What do you guys think about that? Feel free to comment. You don't have to. But you certainly can. We have Xavier here to help out with any kind of moderation. Questions, if there's questions. I do have a couple things prepared for us today. So last week I mentioned how sometimes we'll have a worksheet or maybe an activity of some sort that we can kind of talk about. Last week we were talking about self-care and the importance of self-care when we are walking in recovery. And really how important self-care is for everyone, not just people that are walking in recovery. All of us, we all really need to practice really good self-care. And so I did bring an activity, sort of an activity. I mean, it's more of a helpful worksheet that we kind of talk about. Some of those things that help bring us back into balance, and some of those things that have been helpful for me, and I like to share that with you all. So we'll do that. And we also have some water here, and I wanted to talk about the water a little bit. And I also have a little bit more reading that I'd like to do for us. I was reading earlier in one of my books that I keep close to me. This one's called The Red Road to Wellbriety in the Native American way. And I found a couple paragraphs that were really, really fitting for what we do here at HIR Wellness Institute. And if you are not familiar with HIR Wellness Institute, I'd like to explain a little bit about what we do here. And so HIR Wellness, HIR, H-I-R, stands for Healing Intergenerational Roots. And HIR Wellness is a small nonprofit that was developed, that was brought to fruition, that was envisioned by our CEO and founder, Leah Denny. And Leah is absolutely amazing, such a beautiful, kind spirit, warm human being, compassionate and loving, and truly believes that healing should not cost anything. And so at HIR Wellness Institute, we offer free mental health services, mental health and wellness services to our Indigenous communities, our underserved communities, and victims of crime, especially those who have experienced sexual assault, domestic violence, and human trafficking. And she has worked tirelessly, nonstop, for over 3 years, well over 3 years, to make sure that we were able to do that for our communities. And here we are, we're doing it. And we have a beautiful small team of more heartfelt, amazing spirits who walk with us every day and walk with our relatives in a really gentle way to help people along their journey, wherever that is, wherever you are at in your journey. We are here for you. My session here today is just one small piece of what we offer. Right now we're talking recovery and reflection. But all week long, there's something for everybody. We have a summer series, Facebook Live series, that we have going on Monday through Sunday. We have Malia Chow, who is a community healer. She's on Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. with resiliency and reflection. And she brings all kinds of beauty, heart and soul, and her teachings to all of you every morning. We have an Elders Book Club. We have Daughters of Tradition. We have hula on Fridays. Malia teaches hula. She also does Bonjour, Auntie. Bonjour, Auntie Carla. I'm so glad that you're here with us. Yay! I miss you all. I miss you all a lot. Thank you for joining us. Oh, Anna. Anna says, love this book. Wonderful. Good. I'm so glad. I do too. Malia, you're amazing. You do such great things. Miigwech. Miigwech for your gifts and for sharing those with all of us. There's another Facebook Live that Malia does. It is called Culture and Aina, and Aina means land in Hawaiian. I hope I'm saying those things correctly. Malia, forgive me. But she gives these amazing teachings, tells us about Mother Earth. It's really pretty beautiful. Bonjour, Anna. Hi, I hope you are doing well. I hope you are staying safe and healthy. I'm really glad that you're here with us. Oh, miigwech, Malia. Good. Okay, good. I said it right. Yes. Thank you, miigwech. And then on Saturday, we have Zentangle with Joe, and that is a mistake-free art. I don't know if you've ever tried it, but it's really awesome. It reminds me of what I used to do many years ago when I just wanted to, just kind of sitting around, and I thought of it as sort of just little doodling, but like creating these beautiful pictures out of different shapes and lines and circles and things that connect together. And just by the way, different ways you shade them in. It's really pretty remarkable and looks beautiful, and it's very soothing. So that's on Saturdays at 10 a.m. And on Sundays, we have trauma-informed yoga at 10 a.m. And Kristen is our yoga instructor, and she's just absolutely amazing and has this wonderful way to be able to teach yoga. And it's very gentle, very kind, and something that if you are looking for something to do, a little extra something on the weekend, that would be perfect and wonderful, trying both of those. And the yoga has a private Zoom as well. So there will be a Zoom live, Facebook Live post starting at 10 a.m. And we also do a private Zoom for those who want to dive a little bit deeper into the trauma-informed yoga. And if you're interested in that, please do email us. You can email me at jkellicut, JKELLICUT @HIRWellness.org, or you can leave a message or a comment here, and we will reach out to you. But that is this Sunday starting at 10 a.m. So there's a lot of things happening. We also have our Cures Warm line, which is 414-748-2592, and we'll have it posted in the comments. And you can reach out to our Cures Warm line Monday through Friday. It's open from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. And one of our Cures counselors will respond within 24 hours. And that is really a number that is for anyone who is having some struggles. Anyone who just needs to talk a little bit, maybe talk something out. Maybe they're unsure of something, having a rough day. That number's for you. And if you know someone who maybe is struggling a little bit or having a problem with something and they just need someone to talk to, let them know the number, 414-748-2592. My auntie Carla says, Anin, Ejiayan, love you too. I'm wondering if Ejiayan, is it, how are you? I don't know for sure. I'd have to look it up. It's been a while since I was taking Anishinaabe Moen at UWM, but I still try to practice. I know just little bits, trying to incorporate more of our language into just my normal everyday. I'm really glad that you all are here. Miigwech. Think about this, relatives. So we're all together right now. First off, how amazing is that? I love that, because we are during a time of physical distancing. And so the fact that we are all sitting at our computers or our phones at the same time and we're connecting, I do feel that energy. So thank you. I feel that here. And that's a healthy coping skill. And that's self-care. That's pretty wonderful. So we've already done a couple things that are really good for us. We smudged. We started with a smudge. We had our meditation, our elders' meditation. And then we've been reflecting a little bit. Just talking. It's good stuff. So I want to read some more for you guys, because this really hit home for me, and for what HIR Wellness is and what we stand for and what we do. So, how about it? The Red Road to Wellbriety is an invitation to take the Red Road journey. The term Wellbriety is an affirmation that recovery is more than the removal of alcohol and other drugs from an otherwise unchanged life. Wellbriety is a larger change in personal identity and values, and a visible change in one's relationship with others. It is about physical, emotional, spiritual, and relational health. Wellbriety is founded on the recognition that we cannot bring one part of our lives under control while other parts are out of control. It is the beginning of a quest for harmony and wholeness within the self, the family, and the tribe. True Wellbriety occurs in the context of community. The Red Road to Wellbriety teaches that healthy seeds cannot grow in diseased soil. It teaches that injured seeds need a healing forest. The stories in the Red Road to Wellbriety make it clear that the sobriety and healing of the individual are inseparable from the sobriety and healing of the family and the tribe. In these pages are found the connecting tissue between personal sobriety, cultural renewal, nationhood, and sovereignty. As the Red Road to Wellbriety teaches, there is no sovereignty without sobriety. I really, bonjour Marlene, how are you? I'm so glad that you're here. Thank you for joining us, Miigwech. There's more. I really wanted to read it because it's just really very good. The voices that fill these pages reveal how the wounds the individual and community have inflicted on each other can be healed. These voices call for a new relationship between self and community. The Wellbriety of the community creates a healing sanctuary, a culture of recovery for the wounded individual, just as the growing Wellbriety of the individual feeds the strength of the community. In the Red Road to Wellbriety, the individual, family, and community are not separate. They are one. To injure one is to injure all. To heal one is to heal all. I love that. There's a little bit more that I wanted to read. The tear-stained path of the Red Road leads to recovery, health, wholeness, and dignity. But it is not an easy road to walk. It calls for the power of the Creator, the wisdom of the elder, the courage of the warrior, and the heart of the mother. It is a path of progress, not perfection. Those who contribute their own tears to this path do so as an act of submission and an act of resistance. To walk the red road is to offer a silent proclamation. And here's the proclamation. Here, the destruction stops. We will heal ourselves. We will heal our wounded relationships. We will heal our children. We will heal our nation. On this day, our future history begins. I really, really, really connected with that today. And it was a reminder for me on how this journey of healing, journey of me walking the red road, and any of us out there who are walking the red road, it takes all of us. All of us. And remind me of how, I think it was, I don't know that it was last week, but it was recently, within the last few weeks, we were talking about a healing forest. And I was kind of explaining what that means. And if we could imagine if we were sitting here in a room full of trees and all of them were really sick. We took out one of those trees and we put it somewhere else that was kind of farther down the road, and we healed that tree. We gave it all the good medicine that it needed, all the love and care, and that tree healed. That one tree healed. Then what we did is we put that tree back into the same forest. So here we are surrounded by all those sick trees still, but that one tree went back. And what happened is that one healthy tree got sick again because it was surrounded by all kinds of sickness. So what that tells me is that we have to work different ways on how do we heal our community. We're working on ourselves, and that's beautiful, that's necessary. Now how do we also heal our community? How do we create those healing forests? What do you guys think? What's a healing forest to you? What does that look like? I would love to hear what you guys' thoughts on that. I really would. I know for me, the healing forest that I'm a part of is HIR Wellness Institute. Anyone that walks through that door instantly feels it, feels the love. They may have walked right up to that door and had everything going wrong in their day. Everything. Could have been a terrible, the worst day of their life. And they walked through the door and they felt the real, true beautifulness, the healing that's happening within these walls. That's being offered. That's being offered from the beautiful souls that we have here. We're holding space for each other right now. That's healing. That's beautiful. I want to read Anna's comment. Anna said, "To injure one is to injure all. To heal one is to heal all. I can truly relate to that with my family." Me too. Me too, Anna. Thank you for sharing that. There's some more comments. So Malia said, regarding a healing forest, what that looks like. She said, clean nourishment. Nourishment without toxicity or poisons. Solid foundation. Rich soil, light, and clean water. Yeah. Yes. Absolutely, Malia. I so agree with you. And you know what else? Our healing forest, that perfect thing that we're thinking about, what we'd love it to look like and want it to feel like, it also causes me to think about, what do we do in those moments and in those situations when it isn't? When we are in a position or in an area or place or in a situation where there is toxicity, where there is hurtful things. Because it is inevitable that that will happen. And I like to bring that up in this setting with us here, because I feel that it is very important for us to be able to be prepared for those things. To be able to prepare our heart, our spirit, our mind, to know what would we do? What would we do if we were in that situation? And you don't have to answer, but just think about that. Think about that as we continue going through our activity and we continue to talk and reflect. Because not every situation is going to be easy. But I do know that if we keep working at it, and if we keep walking our red road, that we are going to find more and more and more spaces of those healing forests. We will. And even in those spaces that maybe aren't as healthy, we can still show up with love. I will show up with love. That's part of my proclamation, my personal proclamation. So that's a truth for me. Even when it's really hard, I'm going to show up with love. I do believe that everything takes love, even the difficult things. And you know what that is? Healthy boundaries. I can still have love and offer love and have healthy boundaries. We all can. We can be assertive and still have love. We can do those things. That's powerful and very possible. So I was going to show you guys the water and talk a little bit about it. We were doing fires after we were done praying in the woods. And so since we don't have the creek here where we can pray and offer tobacco, what I decided is that I was going to use water in this way. So what we have is, we just have a small bowl, and I filled it with some water, and we have right next to it, there's a box of rocks. And these rocks are very symbolic. You all may have rocks of your own that you find, maybe you collect them. But this rock here is symbolic of a worry, something that's maybe a struggle. We all have them. And I brought it here so that we could talk about what those worries are. And then what we'll do is we're going to move the worry into the water. And that water is going to heal that worry. That water is going to take the worry away from the rock. The water is going to consume that worry. It's going to cleanse it. It's going to heal it. It's going to take it away. And I tell you guys this because this is something that we can practice all on our own. We could do this at our own home. If we're having a really hard day, we could take a small bowl and fill it with water. We could take a rock that we find outside that we really, really connect with, and we can put that rock in our hand, and we can say those worries to the rock. We could squeeze that rock if we have a lot of tension, and we can just put all that tension into that rock. Let the rock take it. You can put it in there. Some of the worry that I've been thinking about right now is just our relatives who are struggling. I think every day about our relatives. I think every day about our communities. I think every day about the social injustices that happen in our communities. Those are worries of mine, and I want to put them into this rock. I want the rock to take that. And when I'm ready, and when you're ready, when you're doing this on your own, you can take that rock and you can just place it in the water. Just let the water wash away those worries. That water is going to cleanse that rock. And I like feeling the water on my hands. Water is so powerful. Water is life. Our water is so sacred, beautiful. And it just feels good to feel the water. Feel the water on my hands and my fingers. And I might pray a little bit. I might smudge. But I'm just going to leave that rock there. I'm going to let the water take over for my worries and my struggles that I was thinking about. And I'm going to leave it there for a while as we talk. And then when we're ready to wrap up, I'll take the rock out and that rock will be ready to go. We'll be ready to sit in that box for someone else who maybe has a worry, who is just having a hard time and maybe just needs to hold that rock really tight and just release the energy that they're feeling and put it into that rock. That's something that you guys could do at home too. So I wanted you to be able to connect with the water. Connection to our water is really, really important. Being able to see that is important. Healthy coping. Self-care. That's what we just did. So I want to show you some worksheets that I have. It was a while ago. It was back when it was very early in the remote days for us, early on in the physical distancing. And we had talked about the 4 directions of healthy coping skills. And this is truly something that I put together. It's kind of like things that I know I do. So it was all in my head and I just put it out onto a worksheet. And then I shared it with everybody. And so that's what we're going to talk about for the remainder of the time. Alright, so I'm just getting everything set up. I'm going to turn my screen around so you can see it. So, we've got the 4 directions of healthy coping skills. I really like looking at things according to the medicine wheel. I like to look at things in circles. That's how things make sense for me, and so that's how I'm going to share them with you all. And I hope that they're helpful. Well, last week we were talking about how if we were thinking of the medicine wheel and the 4 directions and 4 stages of life and 4 areas of healthy coping and self-care, we kind of talked about physical health, mental health, emotional health, and spiritual health. And so I thought that this would be a really good activity to just sort of get you guys thinking about some of those things that you're already doing, I bet. Bonjour, Gwen. Hi, I'm so happy you're here. Thank you for being here. And Ellie, I see you. Bonjour. Thank you for being here and watching with us. So I guarantee that you guys are already doing a lot of really amazing healthy coping. And I love talking about it because I love being able to tell you how amazing you are, how great you are, how resilient you are, how beautiful you are, all of you. So let's talk about it. So the 4 directions of healthy coping. I thought we could start with our social supports. It's a good one. We're walking in recovery, or maybe we're not. Maybe we're just thinking about it. Or maybe we have a family member who's walking in recovery and we're trying to learn more about them, about their situation, about how we can help them or be a support system for them. This is all great information for that. So social supports is huge because we want to be able to have someone that we go to, right? Humans were meant to be social creatures. And right now, I know that we're still in the middle of the pandemic. So I still want to let you guys know that please be careful and be safe. Be safe out there. Be smart about it. Be smart about things. Social distance, masks, wash your hands. Now I'm going to do a mama thing. Wash your hands. Use hand sanitizer. My family and I actually, there's only been one event that we went to. We went to a unity fire, and it was a community event, and that was the only thing we went to, and it was really, really pretty beautiful and special, and at the same time scary, right? Because we're living in different times right now. So I'm just saying, as social supports, we want to be mindful of those things. So when we're thinking about our social support, here's some examples of what I mean by social support. Our family, someone we can trust, someone that we know is going to be loving and kind and caring, but will also hold us accountable. I think I want to come back to that another time, but that's a good topic to talk about, accountability. But a family member who we feel like we could call, that we can maybe text with, and they will be supportive of us on our journey. And at the same time, if we're the family member who is that support system for somebody who's walking in their journey, just thinking about those things, thinking about how we want to have healthy boundaries. We want to be loving and kind and supportive, but at the same time have boundaries. And that's healthy. And it's okay to have boundaries. It's necessary to have boundaries. Also our friends, right? So, this one is always interesting, the friends piece, because I mentioned briefly about accountability. I think a lot of times people are very inclined to want to talk to someone and get advice from someone who thinks maybe similar to them, or that they know they will get that answer that they want to hear. That's kind of a natural way. But what I would love to challenge you is to reach out to those friends who will challenge you, who of course are loving you, they love you, and they support you. But if they hear something where they're like, I don't know, I kind of see it this way. Did you ever think about this? Did you ever think about this before? Or I understand what you're saying. I hear you. I see you. And I also see this. Did you ever think about this? So when we're walking into recovery, we just don't want somebody who is going to be on our side all the time like, yep, you're right. Yep, you're right. Yep, you're right. Because what if we're wrong? What if something that we were thinking is maybe a little misguided? Or maybe if we're feeling a certain way, we absolutely have every right to feel whatever way that we're feeling. And what if there's another way to interpret? Just what if? So I like to add that, to have those friends and those family members who are also, they love you enough to challenge just a little, you know? That will be willing to hold us accountable. So we want to be accountable as well. We want to be able to say, I was wrong. I am sorry. Oh, I know my place in that. I'm able to hold myself accountable and understand what my place was in that situation. That's healthy. That's healthy, relatives. And we can get there. We can absolutely get there. Some other social supports might be a sponsor or support groups. And right now, I know with everything the way that it is, some things are actively up and running, some things are not, some things are just, a lot of things are strictly remote. And I encourage people to even look up on YouTube. There's a lot of YouTube videos out there having to do with recovery and different support groups. And there was in the beginning of COVID, all support groups were online. So you will not have any issues finding something where you could socially connect with others who are walking in recovery, maybe just to be able to see and hear other stories. You'll be able to find that online easily. And the other thing about social support, the most important in my opinion, is culture. Our culture, so talking with our elders, talking with our spiritual leaders, praying. That's all the social support. Another one of our the 4 directions of our healthy coping skills is diversions. Diversions. And what do I mean by that? Well, I'm going to tell you. Diversions are something that is going to cause us to start thinking a little differently. It's going to change our pattern. It's going to get us moving. It's going to literally have us move to a different room. Something that's going to divert our attention. That's what I'm talking about. That's helping us build our healthy coping skills. One of them, enjoying the outside, going out in nature. And I bet that all of you are doing that already. Spending time outside, listening to the birds chirp. We have our birds chirping. Going for a walk, hiking, doing yard work, going for a bike ride, going for a run. That's a part of healthy coping. enjoying inside, finding ways that how can we enjoy inside, which we're doing a lot of that right now. Probably less than what we were in March and April, but we're still inside. So what could we do? We could watch a movie, we could watch a TV show, we could play a board game, which I love that. Bringing the family together. If you have kids, you could bring the kiddos together and play a board game. You could play cards. You could read a book. You could call a friend that you haven't talked to in a while, or reach out to somebody by text. Rearrange a room. Do you guys ever do that? Where you just kind of are feeling like, I need something to do. Let's move all this furniture around. Let's shake it up. Let's try something different. Here's a good one. Take a long bath, or do some kind of like spa type thing. You know, whether it's a facial, or maybe you wash your hair with a special shampoo, or you make your own. Malia has these amazing things that she does. She talks about them in her R&Rs in the morning on Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. Every now and then she'll give us these like little beautiful nuggets of information on how you can take care of yourself and how you can sort of spoil yourself with these amazing oils and just the teas that she's drinking, you know, all of this good stuff. That's all healthy coping. Healthy coping. We can get creative. I know we have some creative people on here. So creative, how can you be creative? Beadwork. We can go back to our traditional beadwork, making baskets, sewing regalia, sewing moccasins, artwork. If we draw or paint, beautiful paintings. I've seen so many artists out there who have such talent. Singing, writing a song, a poem, playing a musical instrument. Maybe it's cooking or baking. If we have any fishers out there, you bring home the fish, you fillet them. Oh my gosh, my auntie has made some amazing walleye, and I've never had anything taste any better than that before. Photographs. Xavier is an amazing photographer. You could take videos, picture collages. Maybe you paint, listen to music. Just sit and listen. Healthy coping. Another thing, which is the one that I find to be most important, I would say music is second for me. But this one, connecting with your spirit. And how do you do that? Go back to your sacred medicines. Tobacco, sage, sweetgrass, cedar. Practice your cultural ways, whatever that is for you. Ceremonies. Maybe it's meditation. Maybe it's journaling. I love journaling. On days when I'm having a hard time, I just got a lot of thoughts running through my head, I like to just write them out. Oh, Anna says, love chatting with my husband. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. I'm glad that you guys do that. It's so important to be able to have those things that we can share with our loved ones and share with our spouse, or our significant other, our partner. Part of self-care. That's healthy coping. Those special moments that we can take with our family. And self-reflection. Us just sitting here and just thinking about what we do in life. Self-reflection, that's healthy. That's healing. That's healthy coping. That was all diversions. And then we go to building new habits, which is a big one. Really big one when we're walking the red road. If we're early in recovery and we know what we want to do, we know that we want to feel better, we know that we don't want to use substances, and all of a sudden we're sitting one day with no substances in our system, and starting to have new feelings happen, starting to have new thoughts, starting to remember things, and it starts to get uncomfortable. It gets uncomfortable. So what do we have to do? We start building new habits. So maybe the habit was, I get stressed, something's bothering me, I'm going to pick up my substance. I get stressed, something's bothering me, I lash out at someone. Maybe it's I'm stressed, something's bothering me, I shut everybody out. I don't want to talk to anybody. So we make the decision that we say, well, I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want to do that anymore. So I want to change my habits. I want to try something different. So we do. Anna says, I listen to Malia when she talks about good fishing and planting days. Yeah, I love how she does that. Thank you for saying that, Anna. I so appreciate how Malia tells us the moon phases. I really do. And I have a feeling that my husband and I, Greg, that we planted on the wrong day, because we have pepper plants that we planted in a raised bed that we have in our backyard. Him and my boys, or our boys, they built it this year. And the pepper plants, they are not doing what they're supposed to be doing. They're not growing. I mean, they look like they were getting a little taller, but leaves are falling off. We had one that started sprouting fruit way too early, and so we had to get rid of that because it wouldn't allow more growth to happen, and then it was going to start pulling down the plant, and our tomatoes haven't started growing. So I'm starting to think that we didn't pay attention to whatever Malia was telling, and it ended up being a weekend, so I wouldn't have heard what the suggestion is. So yeah, but that's okay. We'll try again next year. It's all right. So building new habits. I like this one, creating a new morning routine. And Malia has talked about that a lot in the 8 a.m. sessions, where it's like, if you're used to being, let's say, a night owl, but then all of a sudden you've started getting up because of maybe it's a job or you have to get your kids somewhere, so you get up at the same time in the morning, and maybe it's earlier than what you were used to, but then all of a sudden it starts to feel good. It starts to feel normal. It starts to feel like, hey, all right, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. I got this. So you create a new morning routine. Maybe that's every morning you get up and you lay tobacco and pray. Some of us, our teachings say that that's what we're supposed to do, is wake up, get up with the sunrise, and offer our tobacco and our prayers. Maybe it's just as simple as having the same schedule, getting up at the same time, eating breakfast. A lot of times when people have been using substances, they haven't been eating healthy. And so just doing that little step of telling yourself, hey, I'm going to eat breakfast. That's going to be my new routine. Every morning, I'm going to get up. I'm going to, maybe I'm going to sit for a little bit, but I'm going to eat breakfast. That's part of my new routine. Anna says, one day she said was a good fishing day and we caught our limit that day. That's awesome. That's wonderful, Anna. Miigwech, thank you for sharing that. That's great. So creating a new routine. Here's a big one. Creating new relationships. And sometimes that's really hard. Sometimes that's hard. And it can be hard on multiple levels, because it might be, I don't want to let go of the relationship or relationships that I had before. And then as we walk our recovery, we're walking the red road, we might start to realize that some of those relationships weren't really healthy, and that they weren't really serving us well, and that they were causing harm. And if that's the case, we might start thinking about going a different direction, and finding different relationships, different friendships. So how do you do that? Here's a couple suggestions. You can join online groups. Lots of things are virtual right now. So that should be pretty fairly easy. I like incorporating hobbies. I feel like that's a really great way for people to learn, first off, new things. Second off, what I'm trying to say is you meet new people. So you surround yourself with different people. You bring yourself into different atmospheres. That's healthy. We're not always going to be able to know for 100% certainty that we are in an environment that's healthy. But if we start incorporating some of these other things that we've been talking about, you're going to naturally find yourself gravitating towards that what you want to be, what you want for your life. And that same thing will start coming back to you. You'll be drawn to it, and they will be drawn to you. It's a natural thing that happens. It's pretty beautiful. We can work on a new skill. That's another thing we can do. We could learn a new language. We could take a course online. We could learn how to sew or bead. We could use YouTube to learn how to do arts and crafts. We could learn how to play a new instrument. Building new habits. We could also create a new nighttime routine. We could turn off our social media, turn off technology sooner than what we were doing. So that we give ourselves that time to cleanse the mind. So that everything isn't a race. Negative. We get a lot of that right now with the instantaneous social media and things like that. So create a new nighttime routine. Maybe it's pray and lay tobacco and smudge. Maybe it's you drink a hot cup of tea at night. One without caffeine, so that you're not, jittery before you're trying to go to bed. You might start winding down at the same time every night. You might want to tell yourself, from now on, I'm gonna turn my electronics off at 8. I'm gonna read a book or I'm gonna journal, and then by 9 o'clock, I'm gonna start settling in for the night for sleeping. You might want to incorporate meditation. Start out small. Do a 3-minute meditation. See how that feels. And then move to a 5-minute and see how that feels. And if 3 minutes is too long, try 1 minute. Like really, start small. Start small and see how it goes. You can always increase. And I love this one. To start a new routine at night, write down 3 things that you're grateful for that happened to you that day. And just keep that on the side of your bed. New routines, new habits. And then we're going to create healthy lifestyles. That's the last piece of the 4 directions of healthy coping skills. And how do we do that? There's 4 things I'm going to talk about. Sleep. Sleep is super important. It's very important. It's how we kind of regenerate. Sleep, getting good sleep. Healthy diet and exercise. So we could start incorporating new good foods, healthy foods, traditional foods. Our culture might have some special foods that we can incorporate into that. More veggies, walking. Very simple thing that we can do. Healthy coping. It's all good stuff. Medical. I bring this up because sometimes we forget about that piece, that we might have our primary care doctor that has asked us to take certain medications because we have a medical reason that we might need it. So keep that in mind. That's a part of your healthy coping and culture. The theme here, the consistent peace that has been in all of those areas of our 4 directions of healthy coping, is our culture. Connecting with who we are. Connecting with who we are at a spiritual level. Whatever that means for you. Healthy coping. I'm really glad that you guys are all here with me today, with Xavier and I. Xavier, how you doing? You good? I hope you're feeling good. So we're going to has been sitting here in the water, and our beautiful water has taken all that worry, all that stress, all of those things that were just really on my mind. It's washed it all away. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to take that clean rock out. Look at that, shiny, nice and shiny. And I'm just going to let it sit. It's going to dry, and when it's ready, I'll put it back in the box. And as we get ready to close for today, I was thinking that we could sing a couple songs. So I'm going to get that ready for us. So give me one couple seconds. Oh. All right. If you know the song, I want you to sing with me, okay? It's Wellness Friday, everybody. Thank you so much, Miigwech, for being here and spending this time with Xavier and I. Oh, pirates, yes, they rob I. Sold I to the merchant ships. Minutes after they took I from the bottomless pit. But my hands were made strong by the hand of the Almighty. We forward in this generation triumphantly. Won't you help to sing these songs of freedom? 'Cause all I ever had, redemption songs, redemption songs. Emancipate yourselves from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds. Have no fear for atomic energy, 'cause none of them can stop the time. How long shall they kill our prophets while we stand aside and look? Oh, some say it's just a part of it. We've got to fulfill the book. Won't you help to sing these songs of freedom? 'Cause all I ever had, redemption songs, redemption songs, redemption songs. Emancipate yourselves from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our mind. Oh, have no fear for atomic energy, 'cause none of them can stop the time. How long can they ship prophets while we stand aside and look? Yes, some say we're just a part of it. We've got to fulfill the book. Won't you help to sing these songs of freedom? 'Cause all I ever had, redemption songs. All I ever had, redemption songs. These songs of freedom, songs of freedom. I hope you all enjoyed. I hope you had a good Wellness Friday with myself and Xavier. We are looking forward to the day that we all can be together again. And until then, we'll continue to come here on Fridays, and we'll go live, and we'll talk recovery and reflection. And I want you to know that you can speak your mind here. I'd love to hear from you. Walking the red road is not easy, but we're here for you. And I know that you're strong enough to do it. You are. And you are worthy. You are beautiful. You are kind. You are loving. Don't lose sight of that. Don't lose sight of that. Do all things with love. Before I sing one last song, I want to ask a favor. I would love it if you all could take just a few minutes to fill out our survey. And our survey is important. Miigwech, Anna, Miigwech, thank you so much. Our survey helps inform us on what our relatives need, what our communities need. That community healing that I talked about in the beginning when I read a little bit, it's so important for us to know what those needs are. And the way that we find that out, one of the ways, is through our survey. And our survey is anonymous. It's completely anonymous. It is not connected to you whatsoever. It helps inform us on what kind of services are needed. But we're here for you. If you're looking for some little extra support, please call our Cares Warm line, 414-748-2592. And I hope that you have a beautiful, beautiful weekend. And I hope that you took something from today's session. And I hope that you share that with someone. It takes all of us. It takes all of us. This song I dedicate to all of you. It's called Follow. And I really, really love it. And I really love the lyrics. So I will sing it a cappella. And it's by a artist, a amazing musician, singer-songwriter, Brandy Carlisle. And so this is for you, relatives. Follow your heart and see where it might take you. Don't let the world outside there break you. They know not who you are inside. They've never felt your pain. Don't ever let them crack. Hold out. I know you feel it getting cold out. Without the blanket for your soul now. Before you know it, you'll be frozen. And you have to see this through. There's no one here but you. I feel the rain coming down. It reminds me of who I used to be. But now that's nothing more than a memory. Don't go to sleep and cry, because tomorrow, well, if you let it, it will swallow you up, and none of this will matter anymore. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I feel the rain coming down. It reminds me of who I used to be. But now that's nothing more than a memory. Follow your heart and see where it might take you. Don't let the world outside there break you. They know not who you are inside. They've never felt your pain. Don't ever let them cry your shell. I'm sending you lots of love, lots of hugs. So happy and thankful and grateful that you've all been here today. Miigwech. I'll see you next Friday. Gigawabaman.